Hello, welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to be learning how to set up the text editors, and we're going to be learning how to save our HTML files and CSS files. So we can use any search engine, and in this case I'm going to use Google. So after you load Google, sometimes it's important that you are very specific with what you want, and I say download Sublime text editor. Since we said we're going to be using Sublime, we click on the download button, and then of course they recommend us using Sublime Text 3, which I'll click on the link. And then depending on your operating system, if you're using Mac OS or if you are using Windows or Linux, name it. In this case I'm using Windows 64-bit, and I'll choose to opt for that, and then it will start downloading, and then you download your files. Okay, so after it is done downloading, you go to your downloads folder where the file was saved. You double click or right click and say open or run as administrator. Either way it will need administrator rights. You say yes. You click on next, and install, and I'm going to install since I have it already installed. Just click on next. So after that, how to launch it, you go to your start menu, and you look through the applications installed on your program, and you'll be able to launch Sublime Text, and it looks like this. So how do we save the files on our server, or how do we save them on our local machine? And this is what you do. The first thing that you have to do, we shall need to create a folder on our desktop, because we need to store our files in an organized way. And in this case we're going to name our folder online EWEB tutorials. So after creating our folder, I'll go back to our Sublime Text, and how you do that is you click on file, and then you go on save, or save if you're saving for the very first time. So I'll say on save as, then it will pop up a dialog box, and this dialog box we need to navigate to our folder where we are going to be saving our work. In this case it's on our desktop, and I look for it. It's called online EWEB tutorials, and I'll give it a name. I can name it, I can give it any name that I want, but I want to be specific. You see, we are going to name it index.html, and I'll ask why, and even in the file type I'll look for, and I'll save it as .html. Why? Because I want my file extension to be HTML, so that whenever this file is being loaded, the computer gets to know that I'm dealing with an HTML file. And that's how I save it. And index, I give it index, my file that I want to be first read or first be displayed on any browser. I'll name it index.html, and that is a standard. So I'll save my file, and if I'm to navigate back to my folder, I'll see that my work has been saved. Please don't forget to save your work. So many people lose marks because they do all that they have to do. They know how to do it, but they forget to save. The same thing applies to when you're saving a CSS file. So still you say we create a new file. How you create a new file, you go to file, new, or you can press Ctrl N, and how you can save, you can press Ctrl S. Then this dialog box will pop up, and in this case we want to save it as .css. I'll be telling you more details why we are saving it as .css, and externally how it can be accessed later on in the next tutorials. So I'm going to just give it style.css. You can name it anything you want, as long as you can refer and reference to it. So you save it. Still we make sure in the same folder, which is online EWEB, and you save it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how you download a text editor. That is how you save your very first files. And we have our 2 files in our folders ready to be edited and ready to be changed for the better. In the next tutorial we are going to be looking at HTML in detail, and get ready to have your hands get dirty with code. Thank you so much for listening, and hope you follow along with this series of online discussion tutorials for EWEB offered by the Faculty of Computing and Informatics. My name is Ssendi Samuel.